Well, Drew McIntyre is not bored at work anymore. He is the brand new, undisputed WWE Champion. And the reign of Cody Rhodes has come to an end, which prompts us to sound the alarm, sound the sirens, even though we don't have them like Sam Roberts does. This is an emergency live Squared Circle Radio here on our YouTube channel or on podcast if you're just listening on podcast. Thank you for being with us following a loaded Friday night SmackDown. My name is Chris Belcher, and if this is your first time joining us, I would appreciate very much if you would hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Does not cost you a thing, and it helps us so very much. Hit that like button. That's the thumbs up under the video, and drop some comments, drop some questions, drop some reactions in the YouTube chat. Dr. Durst saying, "What's up?" He is in the chat with us. If you are in the chat, again, this show is for the fans, by the fans. You drive this show. I'll talk about what you want to hear about. Drop your comments. Even if you're watching the replay, drop them as well. All right, let's get to Dr. Durst's first comment. I think the Cody turn was when he attacked Drew at his home. Now, I'm not ready to say that Cody has turned. Ronald Guzman was in our chat the other night. He just popped back in with us. Dr. Durst follows that up with this win. Shouldn't be a huge surprise. Let's talk about that right off the rip. If you're just now joining us and you missed Friday Night SmackDown, let me get you caught up, and then I will get to those comments. If you are just now joining us, Drew McIntyre is the brand new WWE Champion, defeating Cody Rhodes in a 3 stages of hell match on SmackDown, taped in Berlin, Germany earlier today and aired at the normal time in the United States. So let me get on my soapbox on that for just 1 second. I hate spoilers. I've grown to hate spoilers. And I understand that it was aired overseas on Netflix. I get that. And it's cool that these international crowds get shows. And it's even cooler that they get TVs. But it's really frustrating. Oh, you say, okay, Chris, stay off social media. Okay, fine. My New Year's resolution as a podcast host is to adopt the philosophy of Sam Roberts and Busted Open Radio, which is we only talk about what's on our screen. We only talk about what's on the TV shows. I'm tired of spoilers. I'm tired of dirt sheet nonsense. I'm talking about what's on TV. All right. And what I saw on TV just now ended. Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, 45 minutes, commercial-free main event Monday Night Raw. Friday Night SmackDown. I'm all tongue-tied. It's been a long week, ladies and gentlemen, but they said it would be cool if they did it. They said it'd be awesome if Drew McIntyre won, but they'll never pull the trigger this close to WrestleMania. They planted the seeds for everybody to face Cody Rhodes, even Randy Orton. Finally telling Cody he's coming after his championship. We saw Matt Cardona tonight. We see an 8-man tournament that's going to lead to a fatal 4-way. However they're going to do it, I don't know. All of these signs pointed to, well, this is it, one and done. Drew's done. Cody's going to move on. Not so fast, my friends. Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion, and let's talk about this because Dr. Durst brought it up in the chat that a Cody Rhodes heel turn could be incoming, and the house break-in or a brawl or whatever it was could be the catalyst. Well, I'll push back on that just a little bit. I'm not pushing back on a heel turn because I do think that possibly could be coming. I think it's more of this aggressive road that Cody is going down. And here's why I mean that. A lot of people are a lot of people want him to be a little more aggressive and want him to be less smile, happy go lucky all the time. It's been working. He's popular. I don't even judge the crowd reaction from the show tonight because it's overseas and Drew McIntyre is from overseas. So you can't expect them to cheer Cody Rhodes tonight. And they did his entrance, but for the most part, Cody got booed. There was "Let's go Cody, Cody sucks" chants. So I don't think that necessarily means heel turn. I do think it means a more aggressive Cody. So we see Cody breaking into Drew's house, being aggressive in that way. Drew takes it a step further by burning the picture of Cody and Dusty. Drew has the Rolex tonight. And I think now with Cody losing, especially at the hands of Jacob Fatu, which we'll get to in a minute, I think Cody is mad now. And you saw him push Jacob into the cage at the end of the night. Cody's mad now. Cody wants his title back. Cody's going to do everything that he can to get his title back. So much so that it's probably going to cost him. He's not going to be the champion going into the Royal Rumble. I fully expect him to be in the Royal Rumble, and I fully expect him to be one of the last two men in the Royal Rumble. But I expect him to get thrown out at the end. I take this back to, the word is obsession. I take this back to 2010 Shawn Michaels, when Shawn's quest was he had to be champion again. And he had to beat The Undertaker. And he had to get the spot at WrestleMania. And he had to this and he had to that. And every time he fell short, Shawn wasn't a heel. Shawn was just obsessed with his goal. And it cost him. Cost him in the Royal Rumble. It cost him at WrestleMania against The Undertaker. It cost him his career. I'm not saying it's going to cost Cody his career. What I'm saying is Cody can now become obsessed. So he doesn't have to be a heel. He can just be a really aggressive Cody Rhodes and be obsessed with getting his championship back. And it's going to cost him. Or he can turn heel. Think about this. Joe Tess and Wade Barrett on commentary tonight alluded to the fact that the attack on Jacob Fatu back in October was by Drew McIntyre. And when we saw it happen, we assumed it was Drew McIntyre. And Jacob's been off TV, and this is the first that we've seen. So who does he go after first? Drew McIntyre. Well, what if scenario here? What if Jacob knows that Cody was the one that attacked him? Now, it might be a long shot, but I think you could run with that. It's just like the Jade Naomi situation when Jade came back in Elimination Chamber last year. She knew that Naomi attacked her. She went right for her. She looked like she was going for Liv Morgan, but she went after Naomi because all signs pointed to Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez being the ones that took out Jade. What if it's the same way with Cody and with Jacob? I might be stretching there, but you never know. Yeah, that could be a heel turn for Cody Rhodes. Now, judging by the way that Jacob Fatu looked at Drew McIntyre at the end of the night, and it seemed like he was not thrilled that Drew crawled out of the cage and won the championship, leads me to believe that it's probably not Jacob attacking Cody. It leads me to believe that Jacob is returning and he's becoming the werewolf and he's becoming dominant and just wrecking everybody. So I don't know if the two go hand in hand. They may. As we like to say on this podcast, let's let them cook. Let's see what happens. Let's just let this thing play out. Because I'm excited to see what they do. What I don't want to see, we've got this tournament. Dr. Durst, I see your comments. I'm going to get that in just a second. What I don't want to see is Cody find his way into this tournament fiasco they've got going on and get a rematch and win the title back at the Rumble. I don't want to see that, because we could have Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns part 3 at a SummerSlam. That's fine. We don't need it at WrestleMania. Let Roman Reigns do something different at WrestleMania. Now, you may say, if you're listening to this podcast, Chris, I've heard you before, and you said now is the best time to do this. Well, that's true. Maybe it is. But I think it would be interesting to see Roman Reigns face somebody else. Do I think it's Roman and Drew, like Andy mentioned the other day? I don't know about that. Only because they haven't touched that story in a year and a half, and I don't think winning the Rumble is the time for Roman to go pick Drew. Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. There's a chance Drew's not even champion going into WrestleMania. There's a chance that Cody Rhodes wins it back at Elimination Chamber also. But I do think we get a Drew and Jacob something somewhere somehow. Is that the WrestleMania match for the title? Oh no, maybe. Could be interesting. All right, let me get back to these comments from Dr. Durst here. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you all being here. If you're with us live in the chat, drop comments. If you're watching the replay, drop your comments as well. And if you're on podcast, well, hop on over to the YouTube channel. That's where all the fun is. He says, Roman, Drew, Cody, and Jacob. That would be a wild fatal 4-way. That would be wild. Because we need a payoff with Roman and Drew. And now we need a payoff with Drew and Jacob. Cody and Jacob, we haven't seen them yet. And then we know the history with Roman and Cody. Aaron Grisham joining us in the chat. What are we doing? Aaron, we're talking about what we're doing. You missed it. I just laid it all out. Signing off. I'm just kidding. Ma'am. Aaron is predicting. He says Roman, Drew, Cody, Jacob. By God, the walls are about to break down. You're just manifesting Chris Jericho as the 5th in this fatal 5-way, aren't you? I like it. All right, let me get back to this comment from Dr. Durst here, because I think it's really interesting. Did both guys refuse the chair early in the match? Interpretation. Well, it looked like, if you remember earlier in the night, Drew said that he was going to make Cody get disqualified in the first fall, and then he was just going to beat him in the second fall. He was going to make him so mad. That was one of the reasons he had the watch. So that was one of the reasons he was begging Cody to hit him with a chair. Now, I said this on the podcast last Monday. I think it would have been fantastic. This stipulation, if Cody can't lay a finger on Drew or he gets stripped of the title, I thought he should have done it. Why not? The contract was signed for the match. It would have just been a vacant world championship match. So why not touch him? Just be confident you're going to win the title back. Because I've never seen a champion get stripped of a title for touching somebody with that stipulation. I'm just saying, that would be fun. I digress. So, interpretation of that, I think it was more Drew just trying to coax Cody into doing it. And you've seen Aaron here mentioning MJF in the chat. I'm not even gonna bring that up, but to his point about MJF, they did that in the 2 out of 3 falls match, or an Iron Man match in AEW, where MJF gave up the fall to get disqualified to hit a guy with a chair or something, and then just beat him down and won the next fall. Could have easily had Drew do that. That would have been a great way for him to get the fall. Maybe it's a situation where Drew is trying to pin Cody and he can't beat him and he's frustrated. Boom, get the chair and just beat him up with it. You automatically go to steel cage match at that point. But I don't know, works better than an Iron Man match. The next point that Dr. Durst make, can Drew be the nice guy visiting kids in the hospital? Absolutely he can. Because We've seen it before. Drew was the biggest babyface in the company from, I mean, I guess you can't count 2020. Let's call it 2021 to 2020 into 23. 2 years. Drew was one of the biggest baby faces in the company. Yeah, absolutely he can. Now, is it a tough road to come back from the last 2 years and what he's done with Seth Rollins and CM Punk and Damian Priest and now Cody Rhodes? Is it hard to come back from that? Maybe. I don't know. I just think American crowds, again, international crowds, they are what they are, and they're going to cheer Drew McIntyre because he's not from the U.S. But when Drew gets back in America, like, I think people really want him to be champion. So I think people are going to cheer him. I really do. Not like universally loved right off the bat, but I do think that Drew McIntyre can easily become a babyface. Now, while he's champion, I don't know exactly, but we'll see. I definitely think he can be the shaking hands and kissing babies kind of guy. For sure. I definitely think so. Talked about Jacob Fatu coming back at the end of the night. I thought it was a brilliant finish. Getting Jacob into the cage doors open, and Jacob and Cody go at it, and Drew just slithers out from the, through the door. I thought it was great. I really did. That was really, really cool. Some really cool spots in this match. I don't know how the announce table held up with that crossroads. You can go ahead and say it. Kayfabe, it's the reinforced announce table. Okay, fine. But I thought it was really cool. The crossroads through the table. And then, of course, I thought in the cage, Drew doing the tilt-a-whirl and Cody reversing it into the crossroads was super cool. And listen, we did not get a Cody moonsault off the top of the cage like we've gotten previously, but that Cody cutter off the top of the cage. I know Drew didn't stick the landing, but man, Cody's jumping from 15 feet up and he hit it perfectly. I mean, wow. And then, of course, the false finish where Cody hits his head on the exposed turnbuckle, Drew hitting the Claymore. Man, it was, listen, again, as I talked about a few minutes ago, I knew the result of this match before I watched it, as did most people, but those false finishes hooked me. They did. I thought they were really, really, really good. Really, really good. Okay, so not going to take up too much time. I am by myself tonight, except for you guys in the chat, which I appreciate you very much. But there's City Kitty joining us. You might have joined late. It's fine. Still a great match from QB1. Yes, it was a fantastic match from Cody Rhodes. These two guys delivered 45 minutes, 3 stages of hell in the main event of SmackDown. Dr. Durst PLE level stuff. Yes, it was, which makes you wonder why it wasn't on a PLE. This could have easily been on the Royal Rumble, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I am anxious to see what they have planned for the Royal Rumble. So let's talk about that. For Cody Rhodes, I said it a few minutes ago. Wait. Drink for the working man real quick here. Hang on. Okay. Sorry if the ice was a little loud in the microphone. I'd have a little throat coat there. Okay. I already mentioned it with Cody Rhodes. I hope that they do not. I hope that they don't just give him a championship match at the Rumble. I know they're talking about this tournament thing, whatever. I hope he doesn't squeeze his way in. Because as we talked about on Monday, what would be the point? Just to shock people? I don't think that's a good idea. Dr. Durst says, I think they know Mondays and Fridays have become stale. Well, there's a term that the Busted Open crew coined a long, long time ago, and it's the fall of the fall. And what that means is wrestling always takes a dip in the fall. Think about it. I don't necessarily know that Mondays and Fridays have become stale. I think it's more about that's just the road of the wrestling business, because after SummerSlam, what was the one storyline that dominated all of WWE across both shows? It was John Cena. We talked about John Cena for 4 months. As we should, not taking anything away from John, but we talked about John Cena for 4 months. And then after that, we hit the new year and it's the road to WrestleMania. I know everybody says the road to WrestleMania starts at the Rumble. It does not. The road to WrestleMania starts in January. So we are on the road to WrestleMania. So because the road to WrestleMania is so high, and because they've built SummerSlam to this WrestleMania level PLE, January through August is red hot. So it's very easy for September through December to just feel like I need a breath. And traditionally, that's just what wrestling does. So I think 2025 was no exception. I think it did. So all that to say, the road to WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes is very, very unclear. Andy and I talked about this on Monday, and I'm going to throw a scenario out here. Let's just say that Cody Rhodes enters the Royal Rumble, which I think he will do. And I think Cody Rhodes will be in the final 2 in the Royal Rumble. And I think Roman Reigns eliminates him to win the Royal Rumble. And Cody Rhodes is frustrated. And that's your put the pin in Roman versus Cody, because remember, Roman stared Cody down at the end of Survivor Series, said, we're never teaming again. And lots of people want to see Roman Cody 3 this year, including me. Okay. Well, that just continues to get us there. So then Cody enters the Elimination Chamber to try to earn a championship match. Or maybe the Elimination Chamber is for a championship and Cody is in it. Cody loses again. What if this aggressive Cody, this obsessed Cody, starts blaming, I don't know, like Drew McIntyre did? What if Cody Rhodes starts blaming Nick Aldis for what's happening? And we find a way to get Cody Rhodes versus Nick Aldis at WrestleMania. Woo! Man, that could be interesting, right? Or here's another path, not for Cody Rhodes. You could include Cody Rhodes here. Dr. Durr says, what if Cody fails to earn the main event? His heel turn is an interference at WrestleMania. Who's he interfering on? Give me that. And then we'll play the scenario out. I like where your head's at, because you want that shock at WrestleMania. Cody could turn heel. Okay. Who's it on though? Because here's another scenario. Let's say Drew McIntyre takes the championship to the Royal Rumble. And this fatal four, okay, Roman versus Drew, Cody interferes. Okay. I can get behind that. To further Cody versus Roman, then you got to somehow get the championship onto one of them so that you have that match at SummerSlam. Okay. Here's another one. Drew McIntyre takes the championship to the Royal Rumble, and this Saturday night's main event, fatal 4-way, 8-man tournament, whatever the scenario is. Again, a lot happened on SmackDown tonight. We're going to talk about it on our Monday show. I'll get to the Monday show in just a second. So if Randy Orton wins this fatal 4-way, and it's Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. Okay. Not the most exciting thing, but I can get behind that. And then what if Randy Orton wins the championship at the Royal Rumble? And then you could go Drew versus Nick Aldis. I think that'd be fine. You could blame that on Nick Aldis. And then Cody Rhodes turns around and wins the Elimination Chamber, not for a championship. And then that sets up Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. And then that's when Cody gets his championship back. Because I'm sorry, Drew being champion is cool. Roman Reigns being champion is awesome. For the record, Roman Reigns does not have to hold that championship. He can hold the other one. But Cody just looks weird without a title. I'm sorry. He does. I say that because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, but he looks weird without a championship. Give that man a championship. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Dr. Durr says he has to go up against Cody. That's brilliant. Yes, it is. Thank you. City Kitty in the chat also likes that scenario. Thank you. I said City Kitty and my Siri just lit up on my phone. It's like, wait a minute. What? Sorry, I digress. So lots of different ways we could go here. The interesting part about it is going to be that wrestling for the next month is not in the United States. And even Saturday night's main event and SmackDown is in Canada. So Raw on Monday is going to be from Germany. And 2 p.m. Eastern start time, I believe it is. So we're going to go live Monday night around 10 p.m. Eastern. That's around our normal time. So we'll go up around that time. If something changes, follow me on social media at Chris Belcher 24 at SQ_radios, where you can find the show. We'll update you on that, but we will be live on Monday evening, close to our regularly scheduled time, talking about Raw, talking about everything from SmackDown tonight. Dr. Durst in the chat, best friends as enemies like Kevin and Sammy. Exactly. Cody Randy is made for that. That's what we've all wanted. It's mentor versus mentee. That's it. We've got to have that. And we said it last year, before we knew it was going to be Cody Cena, that Cody Randy is WrestleMania worthy. Well, guess what? Nothing's changed in a year. It could be WrestleMania worthy again this year. City Kitty says, this is only a temporary situation for Cody. He's a good chaser. You wonder why Stone Cold Steve Austin had so many championships in the Attitude Era. Because people didn't want to see him hold the title. They wanted to see him chase the title. Now, while it was fun for Vince McMahon to torment him as champion, it was still fun for Stone Cold to chase the title. And yes, I just compared Cody Rhodes to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Sorry. It just is. But anyway, yes, Cody is better at chasing the championship. And that, again, that goes back to that obsession storyline that I'm talking about. Doesn't have to be a heel Cody Rhodes to be obsessed with getting his championship back. Could be a very aggressive Cody Rhodes. At all costs, getting his championship back. So, we'll see. I don't know. I've barely checked my notes of anything that I wrote down tonight. Oh, here's another one. I got it. Here we go. I know I love the Randy Orton scenario, but let's say that Drew McIntyre keeps the championship through Royal Rumble. Okay, so which of those other 7 guys would be a good main event match for the Royal Rumble? Main event worthy match. It's not going to be the main event. Main event worthy or level championship match at the Royal Rumble for Drew McIntyre to face. Everybody remember where the Royal Rumble is this year? Saudi Arabia. And who is in this 8-man tournament? Yep. Who is also lives in the town in which Saturday night's main event is taking place? In Montreal? Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn earns the opportunity to face a dastardly heel in Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. He doesn't win. Drew McIntyre claymores his head off 1, 2, 3. But that is the other scenario. I think it's either Randy Orton or I think it's Sami Zayn facing Drew at the Rumble. We'll see. I don't know. I'm excited for it. If you're as excited as I am and you're digging what we're doing here on Squared Circle Radio, make sure you stay locked into the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on podcast if that's your method of following our show or checking out our show. Do it on podcast. That's fine too. Make sure you follow the show. Make sure you like the video. That helps the algorithm. If you're watching us on our replay, you can drop comments in the chat. I'll get back to each and every one of those as well. All right. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us on a bonus edition of Squared Circle Radio, a Sports Wire Radio Hall of Fame podcast. Look at us. Thank you guys for being with us. Thank you to Dr. Durst. Thank you to City Kitty. Thank you to Grishy. Thank you to Ronald. All of you guys who participated in the chat. All of you guys who will participate in the chat later on. Again, we'll be back with you on Monday night, probably around 10 o'clock Eastern. Follow us on social media. The handles are right here on the screen, and we'll keep you updated on that time because, again, Raw is at 2 p.m. Eastern, live from Germany on Netflix on Monday. That's going to do it for this bonus edition of Squared Circle Radio here on our YouTube channel. We will catch you guys down the road.